Good morning. Once again, glad that you still are with us. As we say, this is Entertainment Thursday, and this Thursday is our Friday right here. The best way to start your morning is on Good Morning Kenya. I'm Regina Manyara. Now, during yesterday's press briefing, Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe said that he said that the first phase of the reopening of schools will give learners time to acclimatize with the health protocols in schools before learning starts officially. That sets the background of our conversation this morning on hashtag KBC Kids Talk. So back to school, are we ready? Are you comfortable? Remember, teachers have been asked to report to school on Monday ahead of this planned phased reopening and resumption of face-to-face learning. Are we ready? As a parent, guardian, teacher, student, and pupil, we want to hear your take in regard to this matter and so much more, especially on the issue of the curriculum. We have candidates, KCP, KCSE candidates. We have teachers who do not reside within the school premises. We have shared facilities within the schools. Can we maintain social distancing in the dining halls? Are we going to have other dormitories built to accommodate, or rather just, to adhere with the laid down health protocols? What about shared bathrooms for those who have shared bathrooms? We have all that and so much more. All of these questions we want you to ask and hear your feedback and response to this particular proposed, or rather, planned reopening and return of face-to-face learning. This morning, my first guest, remember that we are live on KBC Channel 1 and our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke, and our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1 News. Mine is at Ray Manyara. I have Sam W. Njoroge as well as Jane Wamboye as my colleagues, so you can reach out to them. We're going to be sampling your feedback on both our social media platforms, individually and also on our station's handle. Introducing my first guest this morning, we have Mabel from Kajiado. Good morning, Mabel. How are you?
Good morning, Regina. How are you?
Great. How about you just give us a brief introduction of who Mabel is, like which line of work are you currently engaged in?
Well, Mabel is currently working with the Manangu Sacco. Manangu Sacco is a Sacco that is dealing with investment in children and youth empowerment, and we are majorly based in Kajiado County, but we are setting out to reach out to all kids all through the world. Yes.
Thank you, Mabel. So, what is your take on this, planned phased reopening of schools? What is your take?
Well, Regina, just like from last week, as I had said, I don't think parents are ready to have schools to be reopened. Maybe some are, majorly most of them are not, because they are unprepared. Many parents have chewed their school fees with their kids, unfortunately or fortunately, and especially majority of the kids that we have around in our country, Kenya right now, most of them, we wouldn't really say that they're in the middle class, the high sections, middle class of living. So the majority of the kids that have really been affected are the kids in middle class kwenda chini that have been affected, and it's not going to be easy for their parents to just send their kids back to school, especially putting into consideration the fact that they've not even been reached. These parents have not been reached, the kids have not been reached, they've not been sensitized on matters COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Mabel, weighing in on this conversation. Back to school, are we ready? According to Mabel, parents are not ready because issues of school fees and the issue of lack of sensitization on the health protocols and the readiness. Now, let's find out from a candidate, a would-be candidate who from Mombasa County, that is none other than 14-year-old Ruth Oguna. Her take on regard into the phased reopening of schools. Good morning, Ruth. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good myself. So what is your take about this planned reopening of schools?
As for me, I think it's going to be good because I miss learning in class with everyone, but it won't be the same. It will be somehow just like being at home, but you're back with other people. Though it's going to be very difficult because the guidelines which are to be there in schools, it's not going to be easy, especially the the nursery school, the grades, the children who are in the lower grades, it's not going to be easy. And plus, the boarding schools, are they going to assure that all the guidelines are followed? And it's not going to be easy. There are not going to be such things as assembly or playing in the field. And that's, I don't think that's what a school was actually meant to be. So I don't know how it's going to work out. But either way, whether school opens or closes, I'm going to go to school either way.
I like your confidence. Whether they open the schools or not, you're ready to go back to school.
Yes.
That is a positive way to look at it. Personally, as Ruth Oguna, what are you going to do in your individual capacity to ensure that you're safe within the school environment? And there's an article here just to mention one of the contributors to the Standard this morning said that the safety of the learners solely falls on the individual themselves. How are you going to ensure that you're safe during this time when you're going to be embarking on your studies?
Well, it's true with the saying that it depends on the individual themselves. And you as an individual, making yourself protected is by telling others what you know. You can be protecting yourself, yet you're letting someone else go. And it's not like you're the one who has the virus, it's someone else who gives it to you. So what you know about the virus and how it's going to be spread in the guidelines, tell a friend to tell a friend so that you keep each other safe.
Very well said. Thank you for that challenge. Thank you for weighing in on this conversation this morning. Back to school, are we ready? That is 14-year-old Ruth Oguna, who would have been a candidate this year. But now, because schools have been closed, we are not so sure if she's going to be taking her exams in 2020. Now we cross over to Kiambu County, where we have Kamau and Rugoro. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourselves?
We are fine.
Great to have you on board. I don't know who I'll start with. Is it Rogoro? Yes, we start with the ladies. So Rogoro, what do you have to say in regard to, the planned reopening of schools?
To me,
Uh-huh.
I'm ready, but I'm freaking out because the little kids, we are told the little kids are going to school with us. So I'm freaking out because they might not obey the rules because there are others which are many, and other schools have many children, but as we are told, they will build other classes. So to me, I'm ready. I'm ready for school. My parent is also ready. She's preparing our school fees for me and my brother. And for my family, we are okay with the opening of schools, and we are going to obey the rules.
Thank you very much, Rogoro. I'm really happy that your parents are ready and not falling into the category of parents who are saying they do not have, they've already eaten their school fees, so Mekula school fees. That is good that you're confident that you're going to go back to school, but you've also raised a question about the other students with you, if they are going to be ready to adhere to the laid down protocols. You are ready, but you're not so sure about the ones that you attend school with are going to be doing so. Let's hear if your brother has the same sentiments. Good morning, Kamau. How are you?
I'm fine.
Great. Now, Kamau, what is your take about the phased reopening of schools?
I think it is not good that they are not going to follow the rules, and they are not going to be teachers of in 24 hours guidelines, and because of borders who don't even commit social distance. Even they are not sure that the coronavirus has ended, so it is not safe to go back to school. My parents are not ready. They are not saying that we can go to school. They are not ready because they don't have money because of the coronavirus pandemic. Yes.
Mm-hmm. That is quite a mouthful there, Kamau. And you have said you are not so sure. The issue is that you're not so sure the rules are going to be followed in terms of the health protocols, and you're also saying that teachers are not also safe. So in your personal opinion, Kamau, what do you think needs to be done to ensure that you and your sister are safe once you get back to school?
There shall be social distance. Then we shall not go to dining hall. They shall serve us in our classrooms and be safe. Even have social distance. They should learn, and they should even wash their hands after they are visiting the toilet.
Mm-hmm. So social distancing and maintaining high levels of hygiene. Now, Kamau, kindly tell us how old you are and also how old your sister is.
I'm 12 years old, and my sister is also 10 years old.
Thank you very much for your contribution this morning in regard to our current topic. Introducing our next guest. Now we are joined by our next guest this morning to weigh in on this conversation. Back to school, are we ready? Now this is Executive Director of CAC. Good morning, Timothy. How are you?
Good morning, Regina. And just listening into what the children are saying.
Yes. Now, from what you have heard, the children are saying they miss learning with the fellow students, but they are worried about the other students just adhering to the safety protocols. That is 12-year-old Kamau and Rugore, as well as a 14-year-old Oguna. As a guardian, as a parent, and a person who already works within the children value chain, if we can say that, what is your take about this planned reopening, phased as it may be, but the reopening of schools in this time?
I think as a parent and as a parent who has children going to school, I want to say that it is important to have a clear plan of how children are going back. And we better have a clear roadmap. And actually, it's too late. We should have started this roadmap long time ago, not even today or this month in October, so that we can be able to actually plan for our children. And the other thing is that I'm happy that KBC, you are talking to the children. That is the missing voice. We hear so much from the ministry, from the adults, and we're also missing the voice of politicians and missing the voice of the entire government, but we missed the voice of the children. And I'm happy with Kamau and Ruth and what they are saying. I think their views are very important because they're the ones who are going to be in school. And I wish you could also have the views of the teachers so that whatever we are doing right now, we can be able to prepare well. Children have stayed away from school for a very long time, from March up to now. And it should not be an emergency right now for them to go to school. We just need to have a clear roadmap with clear landmarks in an organized way so that when the schools resume, we don't have some challenges that, again, we might be able to have. Because the Minister of Health was saying that as much as we've gone below 5%, but there are instances of, again, recurrence of this COVID. So how are we prepared for it?
So in your opinion, if you were to give recommendations as to, things that need to be done to ensure that, schools, learning institutions are safe places for both the teachers as well as the learners, what would those recommendations be?
Actually, for me, I'll not start from the school because school is just part of the society. If it is for the teachers, I'll start from the training colleges. I think the teachers need induction. I don't think it is a very low. This is the new normal. Are the teachers prepared to be able to go and teach the children? Because if the teachers are not ready to receive the children, I heard the NAT secretary saying we are ready to receive the children, but how ready are they when we know that COVID has changed everything? Secondly, I'll also start with the parents. I'll prepare the parents and actually I'll tell them what plans we've put in place to be able to protect their children. The same minister told us that life is more important than education. Because now, how do we ensure that right now, education is going to be more important than life? So for me, that's another area I'll go to. Then number 3, I'll actually prepare the children. And that means that it will be a long process that we need to do that. By the time we are starting, everybody will be free to go to school. Remember, all these time children have been away, they have been growing, they have been eating. Some of the children will not even fit in their uniforms. Some of the children will not fit in their desks. What have we done? At the same time, we also don't know whether we have all the children, because some children have also succumbed because of COVID and other things. So I'll even take a roll call of, first of all, do we have the children? I'm happy that the government is working on the desks and the rest of the things. But the desks for who? We know there have been cases of many children who have gotten pregnant, many children who have gotten sick, some who have been hurt. Like I know in one school, a child was actually mauled by a lion in Kajiado, a Form 3 boy, and he died. How are we taking stock of these children so that when they go back to school, even the other children who are with them, they're also prepared psychological to know. I had a desk mate last in March, but the desk mate is no longer there. What psychosocial preparation are we doing for these children? So it's actually, to me, it's a whole lot of process that all stakeholders should come together and think through, so that we can be able to again recover and get our children to a situation where they can be in school comfortably, learn, and be able to reset their mind back into education.
Calling for behavior change, and for it to happen, we have to prepare parents, teachers, as well as the children. But now, before I let you go, Timothy, now let's talk about the issue of the curriculum, because this is something that has weighed heavily both on, stakeholders within the education sector, and this move is most likely what has informed, this planned, reopening, so that those who are to sit for the examinations this year get to do so without really much change. What is your take on regard to the curriculum at this point? Remember, we've been away for over 4 months, 6 months now, or give or take, from school. How will we bridge that gap?
I want to say that there are so many milestones we want to work on this area, and maybe you've talked about curriculum. Curriculum is one of the areas, and we have the whole of KICD in this country, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. To me, this is the time they need to weigh in very heavily. They are the experts on the issue of curriculum. It is important for them now to come and look at the curriculum right now and talk about the examination classes. What do we do? And there are many options. Either decide to do an exam based on what the children learn, or maybe extend for some time for children to cover the curriculum and then be able to do exams, or even think about having a double intake for the exams at the end of next year. So to me, the options are many, but let them again be done in the best interest of the child, so that the children are also involved, and they can also be able to give their views on what, because you also don't want to load the children. You don't want to really put too much pressure on them that they'll not be able to work. Then you also don't want to put too much pressure on the education system. Because remember, if at all they're doing exams next year, that's a double intake. It means we'll have Form 1s that are double, we'll have universities that they are double. What will that mean? Or can they make it, be able to extend it and change even the education curriculum, so that we can have all children? Because the idea of children going to school is exams is to test them and be able to move them to the next level. And it will actually not just be for examination class only. Even class 1, class 2 exams, they'll also be moving to another class. What is the best way? And it has a lot of discussion, a lot of advice from the curriculum development, and so they can be able to really reduce the pressure, but also reduce the pressure of the system and the pressure of the parents, so that children can be able to go to school where they know the government thinks about us. Because why are we thinking about children so much is because they are the main resources for this country. They're the ones who will provide the whole employment. At the same time, they're the ones who are providing a big market for this country. So we cannot just switch them away. Corona has brought some challenges, but I'm sure we can work in it in a way that it can be useful for the whole country. And to me, and that's why I'm saying it's a conversation that the whole country should have. It's not a conversation for a few people who will just sit down and make plans for the whole country. But we need a conversation the same way we are discussing about the issue of the two-third gender rule. It's the same way we should be talking about education and our system at this time.
Thank you very much, Timothy Ekesa, who is Executive Director of CARC, weighing in on our conversation this morning. A call for inclusive approach in as far as reopening and resumption of face-to-face learning is concerned. And he's pointed out to some loopholes, the issue of sensitization, especially to the parents and children, and how, psychosocial preparation on, the reopening of the schools in light of this particular pandemic. We have seen statistics from the globe that other countries that have gone before us who have, reopened up the schools end up closing the schools once again due to high rate of infections. We're still having different views coming in to this to just weigh in on this conversation. And now we cross from Nairobi County. We head to Nakuru with Pius Maratani. Yes, Pius. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Regina. How are you? Thank you.
Good. Glad to have you on board. You have been listening in on various, various feed this morning in regard to just this particular conversation. What is your take about, the back to school or rather face reopening and resumption of face-to-face learning?
Thank you, Regina. Actually, as a parent, just like how other colleagues shared, we perplexed because what are the logistics that have been put here? There is not desks alone. We have some serious issues like now, some children, like the girls who have been impregnated. We have some children who have gone home. We have some children who are engaged in some activities, businesses, and many others. Now, why are we pushing so like that? Because before change, to the tune of going to school, it will take some time. And why should we create a problem that we can solve? Yes, the situation is that it's there. With that, then we are just doing the faith. So my take is, let's try. We are not hurry to go anywhere. Still, we just have to go to another year. And that is, if we can plan well to in January, it will be in a better position because even just yes, they can back prepare. Because just sweep around the compound or slashing the compound doesn't mean now we are prepared. There are so many other things we need to put in place. Just like lawyers were sharing. Imagine of assault. It will terrify the country and it will have to the whole and it might take maybe even more than the we could have wished on. Thank you, Regina.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Piers, for weighing in on this conversation there. I hear you saying that we need more time to better prepare for the resumption of face-to-face learning. Thank you very much for your take, just pointing out that we need to do better preparation. Now, joining me from, that's from Nakuru County. We don't know where Wamboi Mwaura is from, but good morning. Wamboi Mwaura, tell us where you're live from, please. Good morning, Wamboi Mwaura. It seems that we can't get Wamboi Mwaura. Let's cross over and have John weigh in on this morning's conversation. John, good morning.
Good morning.
Good, John. Great to see you. How are you? John, we see you. We want to hear you. How are you this morning, John?
Good morning, Gina.
Good to see you. How is Kisumu? Are you still in Kisumu?
Yes, I'm Kisumu. In Kisumu, we are doing very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of conversation about going back to school, and I'm happy you brought this as a topic when we really needed it. Mm-hmm. We've had a number of forum with children who are really worried on exactly why, what has informed this. I think, to be honest, not every parent, not every child, not every school is ready. We had a discussion yesterday with the private sector who are confirming that they are not ready to open schools. So are we talking about opening for public schools or private schools? Because for me, Kenyan children, one of us talks about it, there is no private child, there is no public child in Kenya. All children belong to this country, and we need to take care of them equally. We are all worried because there seems not to be any clear conclusion on exactly what needs to be done. The teachers who are the people who will receive children directly are worried that they are not prepared. So I don't know, this preparation that we are talking about, it's being measured using what parameter? To me, I think as a parent, I'm worried. The children we have in the house are equally worried. They are wondering what exactly do we need to do. And for me, what is even paramount to this, the issue of school fees. There has been all sorts of complaints, not even complaints, just areas that needs to be clarified that the minister has not responded to. The children are asking, are we paying school fees for the whole year? Will we pay for third term, or how is it? So all these confusions, before they are addressed, for me, Regina, I'm afraid that we are letting our children yet to another level of confusion and problem that we might not be able to address. Thank you.
Very well said, very well articulated there. That is John Odor from Kisumu. Worried parents saying that there are a lot of uncertainties around this resumption of, phased out school reopening, saying that we need to make better arrangements. My next guest online. My next guest for this conversation. Wanambo. Okay, Wanambo. I am having a problem pronouncing that particular name, but yes, we are on. Yes, how about you just tell us where you're live from and give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you're currently engaged in, sir. Good morning. Wanambo, we have you on screen. We would want to now, we need to have this conversation with you. Good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you? Okay, fine. As you're getting ready to just set up that, let's introduce my other guest. Remember, the conversation is around the issue of, whether we are prepared to go back to school. And, this comes at a time when it has been said by various stakeholders that uninterrupted learning will solely depend on each student's willingness to adapt to the new normal. Now, Mabel, back in Kajiado, as we work towards getting to a close, or rather conclusion of this conversation, from where you sit, what do you think needs to be done to ensure that our children will be safe within their learning institutions, as also the caregivers who are going to be there, the subordinate staff, as well as the teachers? What do you think we need to do to ensure that our schools are not going to be a hub of disaster?
Well, Regina, just like I earlier on said, we need to seriously sensitize our parents. We need to sensitize the teachers. We need to sensitize the society in general. Let's not just normalize education by just going through school. We want to send our kids to school. We want them to get done over with their education, get their certificates, and at the end of the day, they just sit at home. Education, true education, is more than pursuing a certain course. It has to do with the whole person. It has to do with the whole period of the existence of the kid being in school, from being kids to what? To sensible and to good human beings in the society. It's a harmonious development of the physical being and the mental being and the spiritual being of a person. Let's not just rush our kids. Let's not just do things for the sake of it.
Thank you very much, Mabel, for that. Let's not rush things. Let us better prepare. Now, my last guest for this morning, as far as KBC Kids Talk is concerned, is Wamboi from Kiambu. Good morning, Wamboi. How are you?
Morning. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. What is your take in regard to our conversation this morning? Are we ready? Are we not?
We are not ready, and I think we are ignoring the human element in this and looking at policies and politics and just insisting that things must happen. Let us look at the teachers, the parents, and the pupils. Look at what they have gone through, look at what lies ahead of them implementing this, and look at what the children face as they go to school, and consider that before we just give a blanket statement that let's go back to school. I'm from Kiambu, Children's Environment, and others are with us in Children's Environmental Rescue. We believe the environment is very important, and also that the human element is even most important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is Wamboi from Kiambu there, saying that we are ignoring the human aspect of all of this, bringing this conversation to a close in as far as how prepared or what is the status of our learning institutions ahead of the planned resumption, phased resumption of face-to-face learning. Parents have spoken. They say they're worried about this issue. A lot of uncertainties around the payment plan, and also issues of the curriculum and in itself. While at the same time, the children have said the individuals, the ones who have come on board this morning, that is Kamau, who is 12 years old, Rogoro, who is 10, as well as Ruth Oguna, who is 14, and Ruth was to be a candidate this year, says they are ready to go back to school, but they're not so sure that their pupils and their fellow students are going to adhere to the laid down health protocols. So they're confident, they want to go back, but are the school and learning institutions ready? Thank you very much for weighing in on this conversation. We bring Kids Talk to a close in that regard. Thank you everyone who participated in this conversation. But we are not done yet. It's matters of entertainment right here on KBC Channel 1, being Entertainment Thursday, the best way to start your morning.
Let me tell you something, Jane. Songa huku ati we are not here dance, sijui nini. Mpaka unataka kuanguka.
You want to drop me on set.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to